Every time it rains, money falls on your roof. Most people never think of it that way. They watch the gutters overflow, the driveway flood, the lawn soak, and thousands of gallons of clean rainwater run straight into the street. Then, a few weeks later, they open a water bill and pay someone else for the same thing nature just dropped on their house for free. That is the strange part. Modern homes are surrounded by water when it rains, but most of them are built as if every drop must be wasted. The roof collects it, the gutters carry it, the downspouts throw it away, and the homeowner pays the utility company to pump, treat, pressurize, and deliver water back to the same property. Older rural families did not think like that. Amish farms, homesteads, cabins, and old country houses treated rain as a resource. Not a nuisance, not something to rush into a storm drain, something to catch, store, and use before it disappeared. Because before water was something that arrived through a monthly bill, it was something a property had to provide. And one of the simplest systems ever used was the old rain catchment system. A roof, a gutter, a first flush diverter, a storage barrel or cistern, a screen, a filter, and gravity. That was enough to turn a rainstorm into water for gardens, animals, washing, cleaning, emergencies, and, with proper treatment, even household backup. No subscription, no smart meter, no utility company deciding what a gallon costs this year. Just water falling from the sky and a house designed to keep it. The idea is almost embarrassingly simple. Rain lands on the roof. The roof becomes a collection surface. Gutters guide the water to one place. The first dirty runoff is diverted away, because that is where dust, leaves, bird droppings, and roof debris collect. Then the cleaner water flows into a covered tank, barrel, or underground cistern, where it can be stored until needed. That is it. And yet, most modern homes do not have it, which is strange, because the numbers are not small. 1 inch of rain falling on a 1,000 square foot roof can produce more than 600 gallons of water. A modest storm that looks like nothing more than bad weather can fill multiple barrels. A rainy month can produce thousands of gallons from a normal roof. In places with regular rainfall, the average home is not short on water falling onto the property. It is short on ways to keep it. That is why old farms often had cisterns. Some were underground. Some were built from stone, brick, concrete, or later metal and plastic tanks. They were not always pretty, but they solved a real problem. Water independence. If the well ran low, the cistern helped. If animals needed water, the roof helped. If the garden needed watering, the sky helped. And if a storm knocked out power, a stored water system could keep a household functioning when everyone else was waiting for the pump to come back on. That is the part people forget. Water is not just a bill. Water is resilience. A home can lose electricity and still survive for a while. It can lose internet and keep going. It can lose heating for a short time and improvise. But when water stops, life gets primitive very quickly. You cannot wash properly. You cannot flush normally. You cannot clean. You cannot water food plants. You cannot keep animals comfortable. And if every drop depends on a pressurized system outside your control, then your independence is thinner than it looks. That is why rainwater systems are so appealing to people who do not fully trust modern infrastructure. Not because they want to live in fear, because they understand that the best backup is the one quietly filling itself before you need it. But this is where honesty matters. Rainwater is not automatically drinking water. A roof can collect dust, pollen, insects, animal waste, roofing particles, and whatever the air leaves behind. Local laws also vary, and some areas have rules about rainwater harvesting, plumbing connections, and potable use. So the old system has to be built with common sense. Use screens to keep leaves and insects out. Use a first flush diverter so the dirtiest roof water does not enter the tank. Keep the storage container covered to prevent mosquitoes and algae. Use overflow routing so heavy storms do not flood the foundation. Use filtration and proper treatment if the water is going anywhere near drinking, cooking, or indoor plumbing. For many homes, the safest and simplest use is non-drinking water, garden irrigation, outdoor cleaning, tools, compost moisture, animals where appropriate, emergency flushing, fire backup, laundry in certain setups. That may not sound glamorous, but it is exactly where the savings begin, because a surprising amount of household water does not need to be drinking quality. A toilet does not need treated municipal water to flush. A tomato plant does not need water that was purified, pumped, billed, and taxed. A muddy shovel does not need city water. A dry garden bed does not care if the water came through a utility pipe or a roof barrel. Modern life made us use premium water for ordinary jobs. Old systems separated the jobs. Drink the cleanest water. Use stored rain for everything that does not need it. That one idea can change how a home works. The most basic version is a rain barrel under a downspout. Cheap, visible, easy to understand. It fills during storms and empties into the garden during dry spells. But the stronger version is a cistern system. A larger tank beside the house, behind a shed, under a deck, or buried underground. The bigger the storage, the more useful the system becomes, because the real challenge is not catching rain. It is keeping enough of it between storms. That is why old cisterns were often large. They were not built for one afternoon of watering. They were built for dry weeks, seasonal changes, and emergencies. And gravity made them even better. If the tank was raised on a stand or placed uphill from the garden, water could flow without a pump. No electricity, no pressure tank, no moving parts. Just stored height turning into useful pressure. That is the kind of simple engineering modern people overlook. We are trained to think every solution needs a machine. Older builders asked a different question. Can gravity do it? Can shade do it? Can a roof do it? Can the land do it? Can the system work even when the power is out? That is the deeper reason rainwater harvesting disappeared from so many homes. It did not fail. It became unnecessary for a while. City water was convenient, cheap enough, always there. The pipes worked, the bills were tolerable, and people slowly forgot that their own roof could be part of the water system. Then the costs rose. Droughts got worse in some areas. Stormwater fees appeared. Gardens became expensive to maintain. Infrastructure aged. And suddenly, the old idea started looking less old. Because a rain system does not have to replace the utility company completely to be valuable. It only has to reduce dependence. Every gallon caught is one less gallon bought. Every barrel filled is one more buffer during an outage. Every tank behind a shed is a quiet reminder that a home can provide more for itself than modern systems want us to believe. That is why this old rain system is worth looking at again. Not as a fantasy where every house becomes fully independent overnight, but as a practical first step. A way to turn a roof from a wasted surface into a collection system. A way to make the next storm useful. A way to save money on the easiest water jobs first. Because the rain was never the problem. The problem was that modern houses were designed to throw it away. And once you see water pouring from a downspout during a storm, it becomes hard to unsee it. That is not runoff. That is stored value. That is garden water. That is emergency water. That is backup. That is freedom falling from the sky, being sent straight into the gutter. So maybe the question is not whether rainwater systems are old-fashioned. Maybe the question is why every home was not built to catch what it was already being given for free.